So tell me about the robbery.
The guy come in and said he had an old lamp he wanted to sell. I told him I didn't want it. I just been by something like that. He said, I need some money. And I said, I'll give you $5. I said, how much you need? He said, all about $3. And I said, well, I'll just give you $5. And I had a roll of money in my pocket and I pulled it out. I was going to pay for some gold I bought. And I was counting him out $5 and I got to 3 and he hit me right at the eye. And I think he hit me with that lamp. He had an old lamp he wanted to sell. It was a heavy glass lamp. And he knocked me down. He jumped this counter on top of me. Time I hit the floor, he had a taser on me and on top of me. And he started tasing me, and I was pulling the taser off. And we fought for several minutes on the floor. And I had the necklace on, and he grabbed the necklace. And, well, at first, I told him, I said, somebody's going to come in. We were down, you couldn't see nothing. We was behind the counter. And then he grabbed my necklace and jerked at it. And the money flew everywhere. And the police come in and they picked up the money. I didn't even pick it up. I couldn't get up. I called 911. I was down and I couldn't even get up. And the police picked me up and they got the money and it was on the floor and they put me in an ambulance and sent me to Huntington. And that's how the robbery started. And then they gave the guy that robbed me 18 years. We plea bargained and they gave him 18 years. My grandson's a lawyer and he talked to the district attorney here and they thought I was better off to plea bargain. They said he'd take it so long in court. And I said, I'll do whatever the police want to do. They worked so hard on catching him. I thought that we should do what they wanted to do. And the police said they thought it was okay to plea bargain. So we plea bargained, he's in jail. And that's how the robbery started.
So, how long were you in the hospital, or how long of a recovery time?
I didn't stay in the hospital long. They washed the blood off from me and thought I'd have stitches, but I didn't. And they sent me back home. I didn't stay in the hospital. But then he hurt my back. He had me down on using that taser on my face and my neck, and then he started beating me with something, and I had some coins on the floor and rolled, and that's when he hurt my back. My back's the worst thing that happened. I went for 3 days. I couldn't stay at home. I stayed with a friend, and they had a lift chair, and they could lift me up, and I couldn't even get up. And he nearly killed me, really, to tell you the truth. I think he meant to kill me. I don't know. I'd heard he'd done that before with another couple and served 5 years in a pen for robbing them. As an elderly couple, but that's how the robbery started. And then I was staying at home. I got where I could stay at home, but I was taking the pain medicine, and I was taking the 40. Let's see, I made it was 10 days, 20 days of antibiotics for this ulcer I had on my ankle, and it was a terrible thing. This ulcer was. And it's still not healing. It was all red, and I was afraid I might lose my leg. And I had that bothering me, plus my back. And they had the meeting at the city hall, and I didn't know anything about the meeting until it was all over. The first time I knew that they'd condemned it was when they come in here and had the papers and wanted me to sign that I'd received the letter. And I signed it that I'd received it. I didn't even know when they had the meeting. I was sick and in the bed and couldn't get up. I wouldn't have went to the meeting, no matter if I'd have known about it.
Right.
And Jim said that he told me, but he didn't tell me about it. The first I heard about it, and then he come in the store here and said he was going to lock the doors on the store and condemn this because he said this little storage building behind me would fall when they tore it down and tear this building down. And I said that building don't even connect this building. And I finally convinced them that, so then they said they're just going to condemn that building. And they said I could either tear it down and leave it empty, or either let them tear it down and they claim the land, or either I could rebuild it. So I said I got a little time to think about it, and they said, yeah. So I thought about it, and I went down to City Hall and talked to Jim, and I said, I think I'm going to rebuild it. And I said, we've already started working on tearing it down. I said, he said, well, you just had till July the 6th, I believe, or June the 6th, to tear it down. It's supposed to be tore down by then. And I said, well, you going to let me rebuild? And they said, yeah. I said, take all the time you want. I said, as long as you're working on it, we won't stop you. Well, I've been working on it all this time, and I spent several $1,000s on this building, and I thought I was doing a wonderful job. And you can see the pictures of it. I think it's well built. I've built houses in McKenzie before, and I built some good houses, and I've remodeled buildings. I remodeled a building here beside of me, and sold it, and I've done the old McAdams building. I rebuilt it. I've done several buildings. This Jim, he hadn't never done nothing. The grocery store is a stock boy out here. He knows nothing about building. And I told him, I said, Jim, you don't know nothing. He said, well, I got a guy coming that'll know. And he said he'll condemn it. He'll verify it when he sees it. I said, well, get him up here and let him look at it. I was pretty then. Then I just lost my cool, and I talked to him. I said, I've talked to the mayor at Greenfield. I've talked to Phil over here, Mayor McNamara, and they said they don't have to tear your building down. It's a good building, better than a lot of them. Said they don't. Jim says he's got to do this, and I don't think they have to do it because I got a good building. The building that I'm building back will last a lot longer than this building will, or these other buildings. And there's a lot of buildings here, and I told Jim, I said, look up that alley, that crap up there. I said, it's a lot worse than my building. He said, I'm working on you. I'm not working on them. And he said, I'll get to them later. And I said, well, I just can't, I don't know why you're picking on me. I said, I've been in McKenzie for 70 years working here. I own half of Tri-County. I paid taxes. I own 3 or 4 buildings here, and I still own 3 buildings, but I had to own more. I paid taxes on them. I've done everything I thought right. I've never had one problem since I've been in McKenzie. I've never had a problem with nobody. I've never had a scrap, but I just can't have any feelings for what they're doing to me. I think they're just really picking on me. I don't know how many times he's been down here, and he comes by and he said he didn't know anything. He thought I was going to put a concrete floor down there. Well, hell, he's been in there talking to them boys while they're building, and he told them he's going to condemn it. He said, we're going to condemn it. And they told me, said, could we still build and him going to condemn it? I said, well, surely to God, he ain't going to. I said, surely the mayor, I said, I've seen the mayor. I thought he was my mayor. He'd work for me. But I said, he's seen me. He's never said, Jack, I'm sorry you got robbed or beat up. And I said, here I am, crippled. I can't hardly walk. I feel terrible. And I said, emotionally, I'm just really upset. And I said, I just can't believe the way they've treated me. And I said, I believe any fair person would come and look at this building and see that I've built in the back a good building, a good solid building. I don't need it for nothing. I don't need it. I wouldn't even care if they tore it down. But I hate for them to get my property because I'm afraid they'll try to, if they get in with it, it ain't worth nothing. The lot is just a one room back here. I'm afraid they'll take the rest of my property. And I don't need it. I don't need the property. I should get out. But I just have a place to come and meet my friends. And I just want to be a good citizen. I want to do right. I don't want to do wrong. I'd like to nothing, no fuss. And there'd be no fuss if they'd leave me alone. All they'd have to do is just leave me alone. Mm-hmm. My God, I got enough to worry about with my health. The doctor told me, said, you're going to have a stroke if you don't cool off. And I said, well, he said, I'm going to put you on a blood thinner because he said, I'm afraid you're going to have a stroke. You're fooling with these people and letting them upset you and everything. I said, I've been so upset. I said, when they tell you you're going to take your property, it just sounds terrible. And I may be wrong, but that's the way I feel about it. And I'm going to get an attorney, and I'm going to fight this thing the best I know how. And that's about all I know. It's about the story of how I feel. And I can't help from having ill will at the city.
Right.
I thought they would help me. I thought they would say, can I help you anyway? They told me I couldn't block the street. And they said the fire truck can't get down this alley. Well, the fire truck right now can't get down that alley. You couldn't turn, and there's no need for it. You got a street in front of this building, street back of it. And it's just silly things that they come up with. Just really stupid, I think. Just stupid damn things. Mm-hmm. And I blew my fuse. I told Jim, I said, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about building. I said, how many buildings have you built, McKenzie? I said, I've built 10 houses, several buildings I've rebuilt, never had a problem with nobody. And I said, how many buildings you built? You hadn't built nothing. As far as I know, you're a stock boy at E.W. James. And I said, I just blew my fuse. I got really upset. And when I come up to you, I was really upset, and I just got emotional, and I feel better now since I've kind of talked it over with somebody that I thought had some feelings for me. I just can't believe that a jury would ever turn down a 93-year-old man to just fixing the building back the best he knows how and using good material. I'm going to show you good lumber down here we're using, and we're building it strong as we could build. I want you to take a picture of it, and I'm going to put it in the banner, and I want the people of McKenzie to see what's happening to me. I just can't. Everybody that I've talked to, I said, some of my friends that come and haul the brick off didn't charge me a cent. They said, we want to help you. And I said, they feel for me. They think I'm being mistreated. Yeah. And I don't know how everybody else feel about it, but I'd like to know how people feel. And if I'm wrong, they can tell me I'm wrong. I'm a reasonable person. And if they want to tear me down, they can tear it down. But I just can't believe they tear it down. And then I can't get in the other building I got down below it because they're up high off the ground, and there's no way to get through there. If they tear it down, I won't be able to use the other building because it'll just be abandoned down there by itself, just sticking like, and they'd have the biggest mess in the world if they tear it down. Just be a hole in this building in the alley, be a bigger mess than anything. And they say they're going to tear it down. They told me today they was going to tear it down. And I just can't believe that they could be allowed to tear that building down when they told me I could rebuild it, and I rebuilt it to the best of my knowledge.
Thank you so much for telling us your story, sir. And you said that you've been in business for
70 years.
Yeah.
I was at Tri-County Motors. I went to work there in 59. Went to work at Tri-County 59. Mr. Adkins Sr. sold me 10% not long after I worked there. I paid for it out of the profits. I bought 15% more, which is 25%. Then I bought 25% more, which is half. I owned half of Tri-County Motor for several years and done good business. And I had won 7 trips to Europe. And I got out of Tri-County, worked for Gary Simmons. He was good to me. Took me in, and he was really, really good to me. And I made real good money when I worked for Gary. I sold more cars. I got a picture of me. I sold 42 new cars one month, and the whole 18 salesmen only sold 110. And I thought I was a good salesman. I thought I'd done a good job. I started making money again. Then I put a used car lot in down here with the McAdams building. I rebuilt that building. It fell in the front. Mm-hmm. And I redone it, and I used it, made good money in it, opened up the jewelry store here, and I couldn't handle both of them. I got at the age my wife died 10 years ago, and I just have a place to come and sit, and my friends come and sit with me, and we don't do much business. We just talk a lot. And that's what I wanted, is a place to talk. But I hate for them to take part of that building that I've just spent. I don't know. I hadn't even kept up with how much I spent. I just pay the guys working. I paid cash, and I bought the lumber shed here in McKenzie. And I want you to take a picture of it and see what you think about it.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, I just hope you tell me I'm wrong.